It's been a minute since we've talked about away luggage, and I still use it, I still love it, and I recently got my hands on this medium-sized suitcase. So not only do I have the three, what I consider to be the most useful sizes of the suitcase, I also have every blue shade that the company offers because I just have a thing for blue, as you can probably tell. If you're looking for a packing video, this is the wrong one. I do have a couple of packing videos that I've done with the CarryOn and the bigger CarryOn that I can link for you below. But this summer I'm going on a trip to Croatia and Greece, so I think that'll lend itself to a new packing video that'll be a little bit updated, and I'll actually zip the suitcase, which I know a lot of you are just begging for. This is really going to be a specs size comparison and sort of give you a true natural light view of these blue colors. So this is the CarryOn size. This is the smallest size that they offer, and this is the one that I've had the longest. As you can see, I definitely have some wear and tear because the material that these suitcases are made out of, this polycarbonate shell, lends itself to a little bit of scuffing, which you'll be happy to know Away Luggage has completely recognized, and they now include a magic eraser, their version of it, with every luggage purchase, which I recently received with the medium-sized luggage when it came in. This has been my old faithful, the first luggage from Away that I ever owned, and it has been extremely versatile. I travel a lot for work, and it's typically just for 2 and 3 days at a time, and so this is the perfect size for me. The Away Luggage website recommends that you use this suitcase for 3 to 5 day trips. It can fit 5 to 7 outfits, and I found that I can actually pack a little bit more than that in these, but it's all just depends on what type of packer you are and how many clothes you feel like you need to bring wherever you go. This retails for $225 and comes in 11 different colors. I have mine specifically in the shade navy. The cool thing about the CarryOn suitcases, both the CarryOn and the bigger CarryOn, is that they come with an ejectable battery. So if you lift up the handle, you'll see in this area of the suitcase, this flap pops up and the battery ejects. Now, my suitcase is one of the older models, so it did not come initially with an ejectable battery. It just came with this embedded in the suitcase. So it also came with this little screwdriver, and sometimes if you were going through the TSA line, they may have you unscrew the battery. Well, that was a huge issue because the battery was actually found in the base of this suitcase where I had packed my clothes all on top of it. So the process was really less than ideal if they asked to see it. Now, I never personally experienced a time when they made me remove the battery from the suitcase. For me, it really wasn't a huge issue, but I know that people have run into that. Away designed a handle that they sent out to different people who already own the suitcase that allowed them to replace the existing battery compartment with one that is ejectable. And I actually did an entire video outlining how to make that switch, so I can link that for you below in case you maybe have an older model and have been a little nervous to try it and you don't have an Away store near you. If you do have an Away store near you, then they can actually do the whole like battery handle replacement for you, which is really nice. They also make a model now in this size without an ejectable battery. So it's just a normal suitcase, and that is gonna retail for the exact same price of $225. So in my opinion, you might as well just get the one with the battery. Not only do you not have to fight over plugs to use in the airport, but if you're traveling around and you're taking a lot of pictures or using your phone with Google Maps or something, you can eject this, take it with you throughout the day, and you have a portable charger. The battery itself holds 3 to 4 full phone charges, but since I'm typically charging my phone intermittently in the airport and not giving it just a full charge, it can typically last a pretty long time. So since this is the smallest size, this actually fits on all smaller airplanes and larger airplanes. You never have to worry about this fitting in an overhead compartment, and you never have to worry about the agent at the gate stopping you to check your bag size. This is the bigger CarryOn, and in my opinion, this is definitely the most versatile size suitcase that Away offers. It makes sense, it's kind of the medium size of the sizes that I own. This is the biggest that you can go and still have an ejectable battery feature in your suitcase. This one is just a touch bigger. You'll see in the specs that is actually just 1/2 inch to 1 inch bigger in every dimension, but it really does make a big difference with the space that you have. They recommend that you pack 6 to 9 outfits in this suitcase, and that this is good for longer flights and longer trips that last about 4 to 7 days. I've packed for 10 days in this exact suitcase, and I didn't have any issue. I did rewear some of my clothes, and a lot of what I was packing was for the summertime, and so it was a lot easier to pack a lot more. If I were traveling in the winter, this would be a little tough, but I have some good friends who travel full-time, you may know them, and they live out of this size suitcase. Bigger CarryOn retails for $245. It comes in 10 colors, and I have mine in the shade Sky. This is my personal favorite suitcase color that that Away offers, and I was so excited when they came out with a light blue. The only catch is that because this polycarbonate shell, as we talked about earlier, gets a little bit scuffed up, I would only recommend that you have this in a carry-on size. If you get this in the medium size, you will have to check it. There's no option to carry on with the medium, and I have a feeling that it would get extremely scuffed up. So I was very tempted to get the medium size luggage in this color just because it was my favorite, but I had to come to terms with the fact that I didn't want it to always look ratty. So I recommend going with a darker color when it comes to bigger size luggage. Another feature that I didn't point out when we were talking about the smaller size luggage is this locking mechanism. So this allows you to set your own code. I think that the locking feature on these suitcases is really cool. However, I don't use it all that often, especially with the carry-on size, because it's never really leaving my side. But if for whatever reason you have to end up unexpectedly checking your carry-on luggage, you do have the locking mechanism that is really helpful. If you're interested in seeing me pack for 10 days in this suitcase, if you really don't believe that I could do it, I'll link that video for you down below and in the cards. But I will say that the suitcase got pretty heavy. I didn't exceed the 50-pound limit, but I didn't travel on flights internationally once I got overseas. Now, I mentioned that I'm going on a trip to Croatia and Greece, and that trip is going to be roughly 14 days. Definitely gonna pack in this size because I don't wanna deal with checking a bag because the fees are outrageous once you're flying overseas, and we're taking kind of a lot of flights while we're over there. It's gonna be this whole thing. I'm interested to see how the weight and these dimensions work on the smaller planes that allow me to fly between the European countries while I'm over there. Now, there is a place on Away Luggage's website where you can check if your airline is compatible with the different carry-on size suitcases. I know for sure that we're flying United and British Airways while we're flying, and both of those were bigger carry-on approved. It's the Aegean Airlines and Olympic Airlines that I'm a little bit worried about. So I'll update you post-trip to let you know if we ended up having to pay any fees, if my suitcase was too heavy, so stay tuned for that. If you're having trouble deciding between the two, I recommend going with the bigger carry-on. I've never had an issue with this fitting in overhead compartments. It just allows it to be a little bit more versatile. You don't have to fill it up every single time. This is just one of those things where I lived and learned. There's no sense in having two suitcases that are like 1 inch apart, because this can totally be fine for a 2 to 3 day trip, but also, you know, a 7 to 10 day trip. So now moving on to the biggest one that I own, the medium size luggage. So this is the newest addition to the Away Luggage family at my house. So this is the medium-sized suitcase that retails for $275 in the color Coast. This does not come with any phone charging features. And this is important to note because some people get a little bit confused. The reason being is very logical. If you have to check this luggage and you can't carry it on, what's the point in having something that can charge your phone if it's gonna be under the plane anyway? But it still has all of the same features, this polycarbonate shell, the 4 rolling wheels, the locking mechanism. So you're still getting the good durable suitcase and all of its wonderful features minus that charging feature. This one also comes in 10 colors, and their website was not specific about what they recommend. I would say that you could probably pack somewhere between 10 to 15 outfits in this suitcase, and it's for longer trips that are more than a week long. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I was able to fit 10 days worth of clothes in the bigger carry-on, so I feel like I'd be able to stuff a ton in here. While I'm not gonna completely pack, I do wanna take you through the interior of these suitcases just to give you an idea of what they look like from an aerial view, and then show you generally where I put things, because I have a very routine method for packing in these suitcases that has worked for me for a really long time. So in this side of the suitcase, I typically like to put my clothes. The reason being is this quote-unquote patent pending compression sleeve that they have. So how this works is that you unbuckle the straps and flip this over, and then this entire area just becomes for my clothes. I typically separate one side for the tops, one side for the bottoms, and then once I have everything in that I want, I flip this over, rebuckle the straps, and then pull it tight to make sure that everything lays down nice and flat so that this side can actually close. Now, another cool feature about the Away luggage is that every size, regardless of which suitcase you decide to get, comes with a removable laundry bag. Now, this snaps in and folds out, and the size of the laundry bag increases with the size of the suitcase, and then it can just lay on top, and it's the exact size of your suitcase, so you don't have to worry about any overflow. You no longer have to use the laundry bags that hang in the closets in hotel rooms. So this is a really nice feature. So on this side, this is where I typically like to keep shoes and my toiletries bag. I usually split it in half, so I'd put the toiletry bag on one side, a different pair of shoes that I'm not wearing on this side, sometimes two if I can fit them on top of each other, and this is also where all of the other random random stuff goes, like my hairbrush, a curling iron that I can lay lengthwise right here, and any other accessories or something that I may want to take. All of my undergarments and everything I typically put into this pocket of the compression sleeve. So that's an overview of the structure of how I typically pack, but if you want to see me actually packing it, I can again link those videos for you below. I know that I found these videos extremely helpful when I was on my luggage hunt, so if you have any questions, comments, concerns, stick them in the comments section below, and I'll be sure to link my playlist of all of my previous away luggage videos so that you can check those out if you are interested in packing or battery replacement, whatever it may be. So if you like this video, then like it, please subscribe, stick around, join the community, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!